Let's have our guest who is joining us from Asaba, the Delta State capital, Dr. Osodeke Onovughe, virtually. A very good morning to you, Doctor. It's wonderful to have you back here with us on Morning Express. Let's delve right into the matter. I don't know if you were following Beto's, analysis of the 12 governors, whether former or current governors who might be facing sanctions due to this country of particular concern blacklist by the United States. This is also alongside sanctions that Nigeria will have to face, including international isolation and a possible ban or a possible ban on IMF and World Bank loans. What is your position on this entire development?
I don't think we as Nigerians, we should even bother ourselves about whatever Trump is proposing, because it's not going to implement any threats, any of his threats, whether it's coming here to strike the terrorists, whether it's going to blacklist some of our politicians or not. It's not going to implement any of them. We have to understand the background of whatever Trump is doing. Before he won the election this year, that he was sworn in this year, he has made it very clear that he is going to go after every enemies of America. He's going to go. He made his campaign promise to be make America great again. So America will remain great forever and ever. That was his promise. And so we should just go back to the background check. What happens? BRICS is the biggest challenge here. BRICS. It has no other connotation. There's nowhere this man is coming from. The president of America is coming from. BRICS is the biggest problem. When he was sworn in as president, he vowed that BRICS is a big challenge to the American economy. So he vowed that he will make sure he destroyed BRICS. That whoever is in that BRICS is going to bring them down. That he will not allow any other part of this world to challenge the dollar. Without the dollar, the American economy is gone. So what BRICS was trying to do was to find way of making payments through any other means, but dollar. They don't want to use this dollar to make payments. So that was one of the greatest challenges. And
but Doctor,
you cannot blame these countries that form BRICS.
Doctor,
yes.
Nigeria is not a BRICS member. Why are you using the BRICS analogy to buttress your point?
Yes, it's a partner. Nigeria is a partner of BRICS. And if you look at the pattern, just check the pattern. The first country to go down was Russia. They seized Russia's assets, totaling almost 700 billion. They seized, because it's very easy. We have faced such harassment. If not for the strength of our legal system, the AGF and the rest, they would have seized our foreign reserve. There were some notorious judgments that happened in the past that said Nigerian assets should be seized, and these judgments were taken from either UK or US. So they have leverage over smaller countries, and seizing Russia's assets was one of them. Then they went after South Africa. They said that South Africa was killing white people, oppressing them, not giving them the dues that they deserve. Then the Trump president said he will attack South Africa. And that was a member of BRICS. Then they went after India. The next thing they did was to sanction Indian companies buying crude oil from Russia. But they couldn't sanction the West buying gas from Russia. So that's to tell you the double speak or the hypocrisy of the United States. So they have to stop India. They sanctioned Indian companies. That was not enough. They went to Brazil. Look at the pattern. I'm telling you, follow the pattern. They went to Brazil. The next thing, he was threatening Brazil that we were sanctioning judges that sentenced Bolsonaro, the former Brazilian president, that sentenced Bolsonaro for insurrection and treason. He said we sanction those judges interfering in their internal affairs. Then he went again. Iran has been bombarded. They renewed the sanctions of nuclear weapons. They renewed the sanctions against Iran. They is to bully anybody that is associated with BRICS. And I can tell you for free that whatever happens at the end of the day, if you say if Nigeria president decide to visit the US today and meet with any of their officials, all they will be telling Nigeria is that stay away from BRICS. Stay away. We need you to sign an agreement. It's not even about resources. I've heard stories of people saying, yes.
We had a timeline of some of the US's sanctions across the world up until Nigerian deciding to join BRICS as the 9th partner country only at the start of this year. Before that, when President Donald Trump came into office, he began with visa restrictions, more of which had even stricter considerations just in the past few months. There were also the tariff ban, particularly targeted China, to buttress your points. But even before all of this and Nigeria's decision to partner BRICS was the what they call it, the call off of USAID in terms of medical aid to Nigeria. This was even before Nigeria formally announced this decision to partner BRICS. As a partner country, Nigeria has a lot of limitations. They cannot host any BRICS summit. They cannot even vote on any decisions BRICS takes. Do you think that predating this announcement of joining BRICS as the 9th partner country, this US visa sanctions, seizing of US aids, and the tariffs are all in line with what you are saying was the, what I call it, premeditated decision of President Donald Trump against this country?
That is the fact. So I've listened to a lot of analysts. They some said it's because of our oil. No, far from it. America doesn't need our oil. It's not about oil. It's not about Dangote. It's not about Tinubu. But it's about BRICS. If you go back to when Trump was campaigning, he said it clearly that any challenge to the dollar is an existential threat to American country. So very clear that if you can see, Nigeria is one of the biggest parts of BRICS. All guest partners within BRICS, and all of them have to pull back. Definitely, he has fulfilled one of his greatest campaign promise, which is to bring BRICS down. And if he has done that, so whatever he's just doing now, is there really genocide in Nigeria? No, they can cook up anything. When he cook up that South Africans are being targeted, they are facing existential threat. Was there anything like that? No. When he wanted to stop China trade by imposing tariff upon tariff, he thought China would crumble. But China reciprocated, and he discovered that it was affecting his economy. That was why he pulled back and he went to see Xi Jinping. So it's all about BRICS. I'm telling you that if Nigeria, whatever is happening now, was cooked up. America have agents. Some people were saying it was misled. No, America. I can tell you fully that America have security agents that give authentic feedback of what is happening in Nigeria. They know that the problem that is happening is not between Christians and Muslims, but just Islamists, and not only Nigeria. It's within the Sahel region. All the 5 or 6 countries neighboring Nigeria, they are suffering the same thing. So why didn't he go to Burkina Faso, for example, to rescue people there? They are being slaughtered every day in Mali. This Islamic terrorists, they have taken over 40% of Mali. So Nigeria is not protecting Christians. You are a Christian? Are you under any existential threat? No. But he's doing all this. He just want to pull bricks. And I can tell you, he will not drop a single bomb in Nigeria. I can tell you that for free. He will not drop a single bomb. He will not put a single soldier in Nigeria.
Now Doctor, another thing to find out is, you say he would not. We cannot be certain what he would and would not do. We have seen him take such decisions in other nations. But I want to ask, the federal government continues to say that it would use the law of reciprocity to revisit issues like the visa restrictions on Nigeria. Do you think that we can back these threats with action should the inevitable happen in whatever regards? Do you think we can match
I don't think whether we
reciprocity to the US?
No, we can't. We can't. There's no way we can match US sanction for sanction, threat for threat. We are the other dog here, to be sincere. But what I can tell you, I just told you, I said if I was the president, I would not even bother going to America. They have with the US. What Trump is looking for is to see Nigerian president. He doesn't have any regard for the Nigerian president. Look.
Well, Doctor, can you hear us? If you are still on the line, a lot of individuals are of the opinion that beyond BRICS, the U.S. is always on the hunt for oil, and Nigeria appears and happens to have oil, and it just so happens that at the time when there is conflict in the country, the U.S. is wading in not to resolve the conflict, but rather to extract what we have and exploit the country of its natural resources in terms of crude. Is this situation correct? Is this analysis correct? Is the US just out for oil in Nigeria and not necessarily to restore peace and security in the country?
Is very wrong. That notion that US is looking for oil is very, very wrong. US is not after. I mean, how much oil do we even have? 1.5 million barrels per day. The Dangote refinery is going to take not less than 500,000 of those crude. So how much oil do we even produce at a time? So it's not about oil. The US need our oil. They will not be launching threats. I can tell you for free, they will not be launching threats. They will want to do business with Nigeria. They will have to, even the Secretary of State or the Vice President of America will have to be in Nigeria. They will just and sign whatever agreement they want to sign, and whatever oil they want to get, they can get it. But this is not about oil. And I believe the president has gotten the memo, because I learned that he's going to US, or he want to send the vice president whatever by tomorrow. So the president may have gotten the memo. It's not about oil. He knows this. And once they enter the Oval Office in America, they are going to sit down there and they are going to sign an agreement. Nigeria, just watch. In the coming days, Nigeria will stay away from BRICS. It's not about oil. How much oil do we have? Do we have much oil than Saudi Arabia? Do we have much oil than Qatar? These are top allies of America. It's not about oil. How many oil can we give to the United States of America? It's just about bullying Nigeria out of that body. If the BRICS makes up about 40% population of the world, if countries like Nigeria and the rest join, it's going to take a chunk of over 60% of the world in one block, in one economic block. And these people are going to form not less than 35 to 40% of the total GDP of the world. It's a threat. And these imperialists, these Western nations, they've been colonizing smaller countries economically. With the dollar, with that dollar, they can crumble any country within seconds. They can give you, this is what we want you to do. If you can't do it, they use that dollar, they use the instrumentality of that dollar, that payment system they call SWIFT. They use it to bring down any country to their knees. They can just cook up, check, and just go to UK, for example, and say for one reason the youth lock up one of our airway. We want to seize Nigeria External Reserve. One court will just give judgment in UK there. Just give judgment and say seize everything. This is imperialism. This is colonization. We can't do that for America. Can the High Court in Nigeria seize the property of US in Nigeria? See, even globally, can it do it? No. This US, they lack single respect for Nigeria. You just come out and say you are bringing your warships to Nigeria. You are bringing, if he's so concerned about Christians, why did they have to give white South Africans refugee status in America? Why did he give it to Nigerian Christians? He doesn't care about them. It's not about Christianity. It's just about BRICS. This man doesn't care a damn about the Christians. And if he says he cares about the Christians, when he brings his airplane and all that, is he just going to be dropping bombs in Muslim communities? No. It's just empty threat, bullying, attacks.
Now, there's also the debate on the need for ambassadors or special envoys from Nigeria to the US. A position that has been largely, would I call it, vacant or inactive in the last 2 years. Do you think that this would have made for better deliberations or whatever issues were raised on the floor of Parliament in the US, where this bill that dubbed Nigeria a country of particular concern emanated from? Do you think Nigeria should explore the need to have ambassadors or special envoys to the US to manage this binational relationship?
It would have helped. It would have helped. But I think we have to look at it from an holistic angle. No president or no country will just want to say, I don't want to send ambassadors to any country. They are politicians. If the president is had to announce 150 or 180 ambassadors today, a lot of politicians are going to be gainfully employed, and it's going to boost the political capital of the president. But we have to look at it from the economic angle. To maintain a single ambassador, one ambassador, both his remuneration, his staff, his accommodation, and whatever he needs, the paraphernalia that he needs, and his allowances, is going to cost Nigeria over 200 to 300 million every year. Over, just state that, over. So if you look at that and you can calculate it for 185 ambassadors, Nigeria does not have that money to maintain these ambassadors for now. Many persons don't know how poor this country is. We are very poor. If you think of what the president is doing, if he has employed ambassadors from the first day he came to office, he will be spending hundreds of billions to maintain these ambassadors, and we don't have such money. When you talk of hundreds of billions to maintain ambassadors, you are talking of in 2.5 years that this president has spent there, he would have spent trillions of naira. And you look at our budget, just about 30% or 20% is meant for project. Every other one is either for debt settlement or for recurrent expenditure. And you have to add ambassadors to this. Our capital project is going to go down to nothing less than 10 to 15%. And where do we have money to fund development? So it may have some minimal impact, but does it erase whatever the US is doing? Now, no. When the US placed Nigeria as a country of a particular concern under Jonathan, don't we have ambassadors? When he was bullying the Buhari administration, don't we have ambassadors? When he called Nigeria shithole, don't we have ambassadors? This man just doesn't like and doesn't respect countries. I saw one president visited him the other time. He was asking the president, how did you learn how to speak English? English-speaking country. That is to tell you how disrespectful this president have for Africans and the black race in particular. A president was sitting down and an African president were standing behind him as if they were his aides. And that is how low he sees Africa. So it's not about how, if you like, send the president of Nigeria, President Tinubu, to be an ambassador in US today. He will still bully Nigeria, he will harass Nigeria. He sacked the South African ambassador out of US. Is it because they don't have ambassador? No, he sacked the ambassador of South Africa. So he doesn't have respect for Africa. He sees himself as the emperor of the world, the man that should control the whole world. All the world should come and bow before his feet. That is how he sees this world. And that is why he dish out tariff. So many countries were running a skater. Many countries went to negotiate. They were begging him so that he can reconsider them. But Nigeria never went there. I believe he may have heard the president, and Nigerian president say he doesn't need to go to America to beg anybody. If he like, he should put 100% tariff on Nigeria. We will not go there to beg. He may have watched the video, and this may have aroused his anger more. Every other country went there. He thought about deporting Nigerians back from the US. The same some of these Nigerians that are throwing stone on Nigeria, insulting Nigeria, harassing Nigeria from abroad, Nigerian citizens. He thought of deporting them. The president said, no, you can't deport Nigerians back to this country. You can't bring the criminals that are in your country back to Nigeria. Every other country succumb.
All right, Dr. Osodeke Onovughe, we must thank you so much. That has been quite a very interesting and in-depth analysis of the entire situation regarding Nigeria's blacklist or blacklisting as a CPC nation. We thank you, and we wish you the very best of the rest of your day. That has been Dr. Osodeke Onovughe, a public affairs analyst, speaking to us all the way from Asaba, Delta State. We'll take yet another break, and when we come back, we hope to have the last leg of discussions on the program this morning, shifting gears away from international diplomatic situations to internal political matters, where the People's Democratic Party is set to challenge the court's ruling stopping its convention. We'll take a break. When we come back, Morning Express continues.